all sports really. I'm a PE teacher, so a bit of a jack of all trades. Not very good at one thing, but like being kind of the variety of sports. Mainly though, my passion is football. So I play for Radford Football Club, play in the East Midlands Counties League. So yeah, I like lots of different sports, but football's the main one. I think I was about 9 in primary school. I remember scoring from a corner, and it was the best thing. Didn't even mean to either. Just whipping it in, went in top bag, top right corner from a corner, which was just absolutely bizarre. That was when I was a lot younger. I think since I've grown, it's a tough one really. Probably I'd be looking at a couple of league games where I've scored the winner kind of late on, when we were drawing for the majority of the game, quite tight. But unfortunately, I've never been in a position where I've done anything where I've won a cup or a championship through a goal or anything. But plenty of really feel-good moments through scoring and being involved in the team. Good question. Well, I've had a recent one. We got knocked out in the cup on Tuesday to Clipston. We would have gone to Meadow Lane to play in the final if we'd have won that. So that was quite disappointing, quite gutting really. That's most fresh in my mind. I mean, I love the camaraderie really, and the banter and the togetherness, particularly with the current group of lads that I'm playing with. Just a real sense of unity and togetherness. That's not to say that all is perfect and there's never any fallouts and things, and people aren't happy about starting and bits and bobs. But generally, it's quite a tight-knit group of lads. Initially, it was very hard when I first moved to Nottingham, and kind of people then get to know you and see that you don't do or say certain things. So it was quite hard initially, but I think over time I've realised a lot of the lads have just come to respect that, and you get the odd bit of mocking every now and again, which is all part of the course really. Certainly, I'm one of the players. I'm one of the people who often can be a little bit more quiet. So rather than getting involved with something or dirty jokes or whatever, I'll just kind of remain quiet, and that's kind of how I've made my stand. And then there's sometimes opportunities that God's opened in order for me to start chatting with people. Actually, one thing, there's a verse in the Bible that says God works all things together for the good of those who love him. And that was played out recently when I was benched, which I wasn't happy about. But on the bench, then God gave me an opportunity to speak to somebody else about my faith. So that was quite a good reminder, and I think shows God's got a good sense of humour as well. But yeah, I mean, in terms of faith, when I'm playing and performing as well, obviously emotions and tensions can run high, but I kind of tend to, when stuff's kicking off with the ref or players or whatever, I kind of tend to walk to the other side of the pitch really, and let people. That's kind of my way of saying that I'm not involved with that. I'm not going to get involved, and obviously I try to play the way that I think Jesus would want me to. So in terms of respecting my opponents, in terms of thinking about the language that I use, in terms of, another thing is, I often get told as a centre forward, go down in the box to win a penalty. And that's actually one of the criticisms that I get, is that I stay on my feet too much. I should go down for a penalty, but I know that that's dishonest. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to do that, because I'm not there to cheat, but to play for the love of it. I've actually found the chance I've had to talk and share my faith haven't come directly through me not doing something. It's through kind of other conversations that have arisen. For example, my manager's been along to church before. I've invited him to a couple of bits and bobs. He came to my daughter's Thanksgiving, and bits and bobs like that. Going to sell your quiz here, Rob. A year ago at Bella Italia, the Ministry of Sports quiz, quite a few of them came along, and then that was a kind of open door to talk about, what do you kind of think about faith and Jesus, relevance of God kind of thing. So it's interesting you say that. I think people have seen that over time, and people know that I want to have integrity and want to be honest, and those opportunities have come along every now and again. I became a Christian when I was very young, when I was about 9, and then when I was 11 I got baptised by full immersion to show that I wanted to follow Jesus. So I've been brought up in a Christian home, and that's actually a challenge, maybe a side point, is that when you're brought up in your faith, one of the biggest challenges is, am I here just because of my parents or because I actually believe it? And so constantly I like to kind of go over some of the big questions about faith and life, so that I'm not just doing it for the sake of it, but for kind of because of who I think God is and my relationship with him. It should have more of an impact than it does. We're sinful human beings, but I'd like to think that obviously affects my behaviour in terms of the things I do and say and things I don't say, and the places I go, etc. I'm a PE teacher in a secondary school environment, so obviously dealing with young people all day, every day. Particularly one of my biggest bugbears is people saying, "Oh God," or "Jesus Christ," and often I've been known as the teacher in the school now who says, well, it's not God's fault, or it's not Jesus' fault, or what's Jesus got to do with it? And then that's sometimes been a platform. Yeah, that's the team I support, so obviously I'm really happy at the minute after beating United, and we'll see what happens on Thursday as to whether I'm still a Liverpool fan or not.
Thanks, Dave.
Cheers.